Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Omega Files. I'm your host, Dr. Freedom, and tonight we've gathered to sit down and just have a little talk about some things that have been going on lately in the Who community. The major thing, I want to start off with, though, is the move to Sunday, how everybody's reacting to it, what they think about it. Just get your general opinion on if you think, maybe it's a good idea, maybe it's a bad idea, what your view is on that particular subject. Then we're going to go on to some other things. So when I call your name, I want you to just go ahead and tell me what you think about the Sunday move. And then we'll go to open mic and we'll throw some other stuff out there that we've heard. Okay, so we're going to start at the top this time, starting with AJ. What do you think about the Sunday night move, AJ?
Not really happy about it because that means over here in Australia, you're going to be watching it if you're live streaming it from the ABC at 2 or 3 in the morning. So I'd get up at 2 or 3 in the morning for myself on a Monday and then go to work. But still, to have that happen, you're going to lose half your overseas audience, Australia, New Zealand, anyone in this sort of time zone. You've pretty much lost them on the original live showing of the show. So I'm not sure how that's going to work for them, but I'd still watch it at 2 or 3 in the morning. So, but still not happy about it. I'd rather it on the Sunday.
All righty. Connor.
I like it. Stable schedule, stable time slot. Dramas these days are usually for Sunday nights. It's rare that a Saturday would accommodate a drama, especially when you've got stuff like over here, X Factor, Britain's Got Talent, Strictly Come Dancing. Recent dramas on Sunday have done really well. Like The Bodyguard is a recent BBC example that has just blown up the entire sort of TV market at the moment. And so if they can sort of work on the success of previous dramas, with the BBC especially, then I think it'll be a good idea. For America and for overseas, as AJ said, it's probably going to be a little bit of a different story. But from a purely UK standpoint, I think it's probably the best choice that they've made. Completely unexpected, but I think the best choice that they've made so far.
All righty. Philip.
I kind of agree on the British side of things because they've been losing a lot of viewers when it was on Saturdays, and there's a lot of competition for Doctor Who on the Saturdays with other reality shows and everything. So a Sunday move will kind of give it some breathing space and hopefully pick up British viewers again who they've lost. And again, it's a family night. Everybody's at home on a Sunday. So you'll get people sitting there with their families watching it, and hopefully it will help it. On the abroad side of things, yes, it's a difficult pickle. I don't think they actually realise how much of a problem that would have been to move to Sunday against abroad viewers. But I think they must have thought about it in the interim anyway. So I don't know why it might be a bit of a problem. But we'll see how it goes on Sunday.
Okay, Dr. Commentator.
Okay, now I actually decided to compile the last time they actually made any kind of changes to the schedule like this. With Series 19, they actually showed, interestingly, two new episodes a week. So it was Mondays and Tuesdays. On the 20th, it was Tuesdays and Wednesdays. On the 21st series, it was Thursday and Fridays. With, interestingly enough, Resurrection of the Daleks was broadcast as two 45-minute episodes on a Wednesday, and that was due to the Olympics. Then Series 22-23, it was Saturday. On the Series 24, it was Monday. And Series 25-26, it was a Wednesday. Really bad time slot there. But that's just to give an idea of where Doctor Who has been in terms of the broadcasting schedule. So this will be the first time in its history, but it's been on a Sunday. They've now covered all the bases there with time. Where to go? This in terms of it being broadcast on a Sunday, from a practical standpoint, talking from all this stuff that we all do, all technical stuff, it's gonna be a hassle to say the least. I mean, there's my commentary. I don't usually plug my stuff, and I'm not. I'm just saying that for my actual commentaries on my own channel, that's going to be complicated because I usually wait a day to do them because I'm tired on the Saturday, and so I'm going to be tired on the Sunday, and then I'm going to have to work. I'll probably have to do them Sunday, work through that quickly, and potentially come on here. Say potentially because of the time difference and everything. I've got work in the morning. But taking that aside, taking that and just concentrating on the general everyday people who are actually just watching because they want to watch, yeah, it's probably going to be okay. It's certainly less competition on a Sunday. What to watch, but then again, I also think is that because anyone's really bothering to watch. Although I didn't really realize. I mean, Connor actually pointed out stuff like The Bodyguard. Okay, I didn't realize dramas worked so well. Mind you, those are adult dramas. Those are things after 9 p.m. You've got the actual. This is still the 7 p.m. slot. You got to think, and you got to think, are kids really bothering to watch TV because they're thinking about is, oh, I've got school in the morning. So yeah, there's all that side. I don't know. Hopefully, I'd say it might work. I can only speak from a British perspective rather than an overseas one. But like I said, maybe it'll be all right. But you never know. This is a big change, and big changes usually are a bit of a gamble.
All right, William.
When we heard about the announcement of this announcement being on a Sunday, I was a little bit shocked because one thing, it took too damn long to make an announcement, and so now it's under a month for the show to return. And then what's unusual is that, in my opinion, the BBC already lost faith in the show that they moved it on a Sunday. Not because, as Philip and Connor said earlier, when it was on Saturday, it was losing viewers. But that was because a lot of people are not watching it when it first airs. Some people watch it later on iTunes or other ways because people like to go out. Now, being on a Sunday, like Dr. Commentator said, some kids, got to get ready for school like that. And so whether this show will garner any viewers, we have to wait a month to find out how the viewers are. Now, for where AJ is at, he has to, if he wants to watch it when it airs, he has to watch it before he gets to work, and that's a little bit of an inconvenience for him, and that's not a good thing in my opinion, because Australia and is all that time zone, they do draw a lot of viewers there when it was on Saturday. Now over here in BBC America, I say in my opinion, this is still airing on Saturday because they pay because they everything for them is coming out of their pocket, not the show. So to me, they should air it on Saturday before Sunday, but I doubt it's going to happen. But everything here in the United States on a Sunday is going to do more harm than good, due to the fact that we in America have more TV programs to watch. Like when The Walking Dead returns, those who still watches it. I mean, that still gathers viewers. Football, that's holy right there on America, watching Sunday Night Football. So that's that. And any household that only has one television, you're not gonna be watching Doctor Who. You're gonna be watching football. So so in a way, BBC did this for their viewers in their land, and they forgot about outside of their land, which has been, and again, we all read about it and all that, has been bringing more viewers to them and more money because of the merchandise that has been being bought. Because if you notice, over here in the United States, we had the San Diego Comic-Con, and Doctor Who was bought there. It was a big thing. Now, whether they're going to appear at New York Comic-Con, we don't know yet. That's still over a month away, so let them deal with it if they got time to do it. But in my opinion, this thing about moving to Sunday is like Doctor Who commentary that hasn't been done in such a long time. I don't know. Like I said, I want to watch it and see how it is. If the viewers stay the same as last year, or it dips, that tells you right there, people are not watching it on the TV. They are watching it other means because they'd rather do something else. And it's nothing to do with the show. It doesn't mean they hate the show. They don't hate the actress. It's that they're busy with their life, and they'd rather just do that and be able to watch the show later on, because now we have the technology to watch it later on instead of waiting to watch it live. That's how it is.
Okay, moving on to Lee. Going ahead.
Hey, how you doing? I'm sitting on the fence a little bit, to be honest with you. From a UK perspective, like the other guys have said, I think it's going to be a good thing. You're going to be competing against on the other channels, things like reruns of Murder, She Wrote or Columbo. But, it will help the UK market. when it comes to overseas, I think it's just going to just kill it off, to be perfectly honest with you. I really hope it's not. But part of me just thinks maybe beginning of the end type of thing. Because Doctor Who relies mainly on its overseas markets, in my opinion. And selfishly, I think it's a great move. As for the show in general, I think it's going to mess a lot of things up. It seems like the BBC are trying to go in. Basically, they're going to be Doctor Who is ours, nobody else's. You know what I mean? In their stuck up their own backsides type of way. But hey, that's just my opinion.
Let's move on over to Beefhead.
Hello, everyone. My name's Beefhead. I'm a white male of middle age who's watched the classic series, and for that, I apologise. I'm a bit ambivalent towards the change between Saturday and Sunday, insofar as the UK is concerned. The thing is, the BBC work on a broken model, and this is where the problem lies. For a long time, they really haven't just put anything behind it. So they've left it in a Saturday slot. They haven't really thrown that much weight behind it. And then they wonder why perhaps the ratings have not been as great as it is. They don't understand that people watch stuff on iPlayer, on demand, and everything like that. And the thing is, when you get to your +7s and everything down the road, it all sort of balances out. But they only look at on-the-night figures. So you'll change it from a Saturday night to a Sunday night. Insofar as the UK is concerned, it doesn't really make a big whoop, insofar as I'm concerned. You can't look, like Doctor Who commentator said, he cited historical examples, but the thing is, the model is different now because of on-demand services. The main thing is going to be the timing when they do it on the Sunday to have on-the-night figures, because I've got kids. It's the bath, bedtime, all that routine. So if you put it on too late, you're really not gaining anything. So you have to look at where you're placing it time-wise. Now, the big thing with the international showcase, and certainly with regards to the show as a main, is selling it to the Far East to have a product for the next up to 5 years. But we've also got a show that is part funded by BBC America, which has been the top-rated show in America, on BBC America, and you have to bear in mind now, it is not just a UK product. To have something where you have a dedicated guy called a brand manager, it's not just a UK brand anymore. It is a global brand. And the internet is such where you do have the issue of spoilers. There were so many people going on about spoilers with The Walking Dead. I understand the UK have to follow on behind with things like Game of Thrones, Walking Dead, that you will get it a day after. But then you have so many people saying, I've got to stay off the internet to avoid spoilers. So to a certain degree, I would rather it be Saturday, because then my friends who I have in America, my friends who I have where AJ is and everything like that I can still talk to these guys at the weekend at a time that actually is good for me to actually talk about the show that I enjoy. Are you trying to artificially create water cooler moments or playground chat on a Monday about Doctor Who by having it on the Sunday? Perhaps. But it's a case of you're robbing Peter to pay Paul all the time. So I don't really think at the end of the day for the UK the Saturday Sunday thing isn't a big thing, because the BBC just work on this broken model of it doesn't work. You could still have it on a Saturday. You could have it earlier on a Saturday, but you need to have a consistency, and that is what has been lacking, a consistency. Now, it's. Do you want to label BBC? Do you want to label Doctor Who as a drama and have it on a Sunday, or have it as a family show, or what in some people would say is a kid show? Some people take offence with me calling that, but you have to remember, if you want to be getting a different viewership on board, then perhaps you need to engineer it as a younger show to be more bringing in of a younger audience. Then do it on a Saturday, but do it at a bloody earlier time. So it is. I think it's not necessarily the show that's broken, it's just the means by which it is measured. So I feel bad for AJ I feel bad for you guys in America, because it is. It's sort of, you have to remember the investment and what has kept it going when times have been tough have been those guys. So you have to pay a little bit back into the money bank rather than just saying, well, it's just all right for you guys in Blighty. So, yeah, the paradigms by which it's measured needs to be looked at. So will it work any better? I don't know. Till we hit it, I don't know. But, yeah, I think this year is always going to have been a gamble in one way, shape, or form.
All right, moving along there. Let's move on over to Texas Tim.
Anyway, yeah, everybody's made some pretty good points. But I think as long as it's part of the weekend lineup for BBC, that's fine. So moving it to Sunday isn't a big drama, except for maybe AJ for his reasons, though. But to be fair, they do have a broadcast schedule for it over there as well. I'm guessing it's on a Monday now. And as far as us in the States are concerned, with a little know-how, you can get the episode after it airs. So, I mean, it's actually early here. So, I mean, it's no big deal. I think from a marketing viewpoint, the BBC, the way the BBC looks at it is that they have it on BBC America, so they're not worried about that. They have it on whatever station is in Australia. So, in other words, it's being broadcast on those same markets as it always has been. The idea that they're going one day ahead, I don't think makes any difference that much, as long as it's part of their weekend lineup. Now, if they moved it to Thursday or something silly like that, then yeah, I could imagine an outcry. That wouldn't make a lot of sense as far as I don't think they're looking at it that way. I think this is a new relaunch of a show. They're probably trying to get more younger viewers in. The younger viewers that they picked up in 2005 have already outgrown it and moved on to other things. So, I mean, this is an opportunity for them to relaunch it to a younger audience. I think that's their intention. By having it as an early Sunday night viewing, like maybe 6 p.m. or 7 p.m., it is not necessarily a bad move on their part. And I think that they're just trying to make this as different as possible. It hasn't been for the past few years, just to maybe pick up something new. So I think that's the whole reason they're doing it. I don't think there's any nefarious reasons for it. So that's all I'll say right now.
Let's move on down to Josh. Go ahead, Josh.
Basically, I can see both sides, of the argument where they say, but I just feel like the move to Sunday, is kind of like, to me, Doctor Who has always been like a staple British, like Saturday tea time type thing. So I understand why they're moving it to Sunday to get better viewership and all of that. But at the same time, it's like, it's kind of odd they're moving it to Sunday, because honestly, I never thought of Doctor Who as like a contemporary, like, drama type thing. So the fact that it has to compete with like actual like dramas is a little weird to me, because that's not what I think Doctor Who is for. Like, Doctor Who is more, sci-fi and mysterious, and it's not really that dramatic, or at least I don't think it is. So it's a little weird in that respect. And then on top of that, the international audience, like people in Australia, get screwed over because of a marketing decision and basically have to watch it at 2 or 3 in the morning or watch it the next day. So, sorry, it just makes no sense to me. And I hope that we're not going down the same path that we did in '86 when they changed it. I can't remember when what they changed it to, but I think they changed it to like Wednesday or something like that back in '86. I hope we're not going back down that path to where it would lead to, a possible hiatus again and stuff. But that's really the only thing I'm worried about is how it's gonna, impact everything. But you really don't know until, it airs. So we just kind of have to wait, you know. But that's pretty much it.
All right, and John, how you doing?
I'm good. A bit cold. Stuck in a prison cell. So, good old BBC. Gotta love them. So anyway, what do I think about Sunday? Almost a Thursday. About Sunday, it won't work at all. Any time slot on a Sunday. The only time slot that works on a Sunday here in the UK is 9 p.m. for post-watershed drama. That's it. This is why there's no other drama on a Sunday before 9 o'clock. Really, I've got nothing else to say really apart from that. It's never worked. It won't work. We've got so much competing. We've got like X Factor reality shows, all that. We've got football as well, which football's big here, and now we'll lose viewers. And pretty much, I would have said Saturday would have been better to keep on Saturday, or move it to Thursday or Friday. Would have been the best shot. But again, like international now screwed up because it's going to be broadcast all different times. It's going to mess the whole fandom up. Nobody's going to know to say when the episode broadcasts here. People in Australia are going to have to go on a social media hiatus and just stay off it for spoilers for about 24 hours. And trust me, bear in mind this happens in the UK a lot for American TV shows. It's hard. I always find a spoiler somewhere, and it's hard. And the BBC have shot themselves in the foot by doing this. Pretty much short and sweet. Sunday's a mistake.
Okay, Texas Tim, you got your hand up. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say that is it not just the same? It's just one day ahead. I mean, what difference does it make what day it's broadcast? The way the BBC looks at it now is everybody catches up on iPlayer anyway. Now, it's unfortunate for AJ, who has to work Monday morning. So yeah, it makes it difficult for him. He preferred it was on Saturday where he would still watch it live, but that's because he could stay up late Saturday night. I don't see this as being the big shooting themselves in the foot.
I think you've got to remember, if it was on Saturday in Australia, they'll be watching on Sundays. Sundays.
But they already were they not?
Yeah, that's what I mean. So
they can watch it live, but in other words, their regularly broadcast time would actually be on Sunday anyway.
Sunday, yeah. But remember, Sunday.
Now it's going to be on Monday, I guess.
Yeah. Sunday's still weekend.
As far as America is concerned, you can wait and watch it on BBC America if you like, or you can do other things and watch it right after it's done on BBC One. So it doesn't matter.
America's quite lucky. I've still got to wait a bit.
Yeah,
but
we're 6 hours behind. It's always easy.
Yeah, so. America's the same day as in Britain. So, but I mean, for Australia, now they've got to wait from. Bear in mind, we can watch it on the weekend when everyone's off work. Like most people, I know people still work, but weekends mainly most people are off, unless you're working in retail or something. But now it's going to be broadcast on Monday when people are working. You're probably right, they will watch it on demand, but in terms of live viewers, it's definitely going to take a hit.
Well, I think they're taking into account that everybody already watches it on demand anyway, and this is just a way for them to introduce a new Sunday night viewing thing, which is a little bit early. Of course, it's not going to be part of the after 9 drama, but it's going to be, maybe earlier in the evening. They'll probably put something in between. But my point is, I don't think it makes that much difference between a Saturday and a Sunday. If they had done it on a weekday, then that might be kind of like, really? Why?
I think when the +7s are added in, then it obviously balances out. But what it is they still play a factor into it of the on-the-night viewership figures, which is where people they've tried to cite a decline in the show in recent years because you've got these big competition shows on the Saturday night. And the thing is, I think for any show these days, you can't put as much faith in on the night viewership because it's a broken paradigm to work it by because everyone consumes stuff in such different ways.
Exactly. That's the point, though. That it doesn't matter when it's on in a way because everybody's going to watch it when they want to after it's been broadcast.
That's what they've moved it. They seem to care about on the day viewing figures. I don't know why, but because we've seen with season 10, there was like 3 million people watching iPlayer. So the ratings were low on broadcast, but on iPlayer, when you add up the iPlayer statistics, it was actually quite decent, the ratings. Like we're talking like 5, 6, 7 million. That's quite high for nowadays. But yeah, they just seem to be taking it all off live broadcast rather than on demand.
Okay, now before I go to everybody else, I just want to throw this in there. Like I said, I'm still looking forward to Series 11 as much as anybody. So, Sunday night, yeah, sure, it's not going to affect me personally any. But the simple fact of the matter was, Doctor Who was the highest rated drama on BBC America on Saturday night. They were scoring record ratings, especially for the Christmas special. I believe last year was like their number one on record. And now you've decided to piss away Saturday night on BBC America for this move. But like I said, the problem is notoriously in television history, when you've decided to move a television show, that means there's blood in the water. That means the sharks are circling. And it's just, like I said, it seems to me like if you really had confidence, as much as a lot of the fans do in this new bold approach that you're taking, why didn't you stay on Saturday if you have faith in this program? If you really want to back it up, why are you running away from the competition that's standing
Do you
up?
think the execs at BBC America might have, in fact, said this is not a good move for our part of the thing, because are they not contributors now to the making of the show? Or at
I
least
guarantee you when they announced this move, those guys over at BBC America were crapping golden spike cactuses.
Yep. I think BBC America actually fund more of it than we do now.
Yeah,
That's our
sure.
biggest
Now, don't get me wrong. The ratings on the first couple of weeks of this new series, they're going to be astronomical. I have no doubt in my mind, because curiosity is like the number one human factor. It overrides anything. I get all these guys who are sitting out there going, I'm not going to watch because the doctor is a woman. I guarantee you every single one of them is going to be watching this program just because of the curiosity factor. They're going to want to see, is this going to work or is it not? Or, will she be able to pull it off? Curiosity always overrides everything.
Well, the scheduling choice comes primarily, though, from BBC UK, because the thing is, when they sold it at the Worldwide Showcase, they said delivering October. They didn't have a date or anything like that. So basically, they'll give you a month, but the scheduling decision is made by the UK.
Yeah, you see, that's what I mean. It's like you were scoring really damn good ratings in the 5 cities in Australia on the review, even early in the morning on Sunday morning. And now you're going to have to air that same show at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning on a Monday. It's like, that's a work day. No one's going to be sitting there watching it at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning when they got to be at work by say 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. It's like you've basically sacrificed the Australian ratings. You've sacrificed your highest rated drama on BBC America on Saturday night. And for what? It's like, if you really had faith in this new crew, in this new gang or this new cast, why are you running away to Sunday night where there's no competition in the UK then? See, that's my view on it. But let me get there. So we got some hands up. Philip, I believe you had your hand up first. So go on ahead.
I was thinking about, we have to think about also Beef mentioned this earlier about the time slot and everything. So until we know what the time slot is, we can't really know how much viewers can get. If they're aiming towards the kids, which I think they probably are more so, it's going to have to be somewhere around between 5:30, 6, or even 5 o'clock for the kids to get into watching it.
I would think 6 or 7 probably.
That's a little bit too late though if the kids are getting ready for school the next day and all that palaver.
But like I said, either way, no matter what time you air it in the UK, it's not going to be available on the ABC player and on the Australian iPlayers until after it airs in the UK. So either way, you're looking, let me see, your average Australian is about 9 hours ahead of the UK currently. Now add in the 1 hour for the episode to air. They're not going to get it till 10 hours later. That's going to be Monday morning. Still, I don't see where they're, what they're aiming at here. But okay, another person got their hand up. I want to get them in. So let's get to Connor.
Yeah, Philip's right. I think at the moment we're kind of working on half information at this point because we don't actually know anything other than it's on a Sunday. So it could be at any time that we know of at the moment. But the thing is that in America, I don't know how American scheduling actually works. Is it 9 p.m. fixed for all dramas?
When it was on Saturday, it was on 9 p.m.
So, but that's changeable. It doesn't have to be on at 9 p.m.
No,
I don't know. I don't know how the Sunday schedule is. It might air at 8 here, but I don't know about early. But they do show other programs on Sunday on BBC America.
then if that's true, then I don't see how this is even going to be a major problem. I still
It's
think
not a problem in the States. It's a problem, it has been pointed out, for Australian friends that want to watch it as they used to. But to be fair, it's only a day difference. I mean, it's only because you're running up against Monday versus Sunday, I guess. Let AJ explain.
The thing about BBC America on Sunday, that Doctor Who will have competition on Sunday. It will have football and other
I
programs.
don't
like
think
The
they're worried
Walking Dead.
about that either. Are they? I mean,
I don't think
it's a
they,
cable show. They
BBC
never worry about their live
I
competition
think,
on
I
other
think the
channels.
people that will want to watch it will watch it at the time. And also, as Philip was saying with kids, I think that the kids especially in the UK, for example, will watch it when it's on anyway. I think that like just the idea of Doctor Who being on alone is going to sell it to kids to watch it whatever time it's on.
You see, like
It's just depend. It doesn't. I don't think it should be too late. I don't think it should be 8 o'clock, for example. 6 or 7. I think it should be on. Like I don't think that that's actually too late. I think that it's just parents. The criticism I think is mainly coming from parents who are worried. But you know, as Chibnall pointed out in his statement, he's mentioning stuff like homework. If kids are that worried about watching Doctor Who, get your homework done early. You know, it's sort of just little things, just changing your schedule on a Sunday, just a tiny bit, just to accommodate.
Connor, did you do your homework early?
Yeah, I did actually.
Again, no, I'm just being
no,
realistic.
but still, you're sacrificing a market where you owned Saturday night on that.
I think a lot of it so far, is a little bit of like it's a bit knee jerk. I think at the moment because we don't actually know anything.
Well, the thing is, either way, you're still sacrificing your Saturday night rating winner on BBC America.
Yeah, but I don't see how that can't translate onto a Sunday either.
How often do the BBC worry about that in their scheduling anyway? In other words, that's a separate market for their program, just like they have a separate market in Australia. That's their problem. That's probably the way they see it when they make these decisions, I would guess.
Like I said, I don't know why they've made this move anyway. They were still scoring over 4 to 5 million viewers a night. Walking Dead's now averaging 5 million viewers a week, and it's still the highest rated drama on Sunday nights.
I think for the last 10 years, Sunday has been the night for drama. So in a way, this is a little bit outdated. This is a bit of a long time coming sort of thing. If you're looking from a pure drama standpoint.
Yeah, but the problem is the history of television, when you start moving your show, that's kind of like not a sign that you have a lot of faith in it staying in the time slot you've had established for the last 13 years.
Yeah, I don't think...
Well, go on ahead. You had your hand up anyway. I got to start going to the folks that have your hands up. So, come on.
Who's that?
Go on ahead, Philip.
Yeah, but I was going to say, even if you wanted to stay on a Saturday night over here, it's going to get kicked in the arse by other things anyway, because there's too much competition on a Saturday anyway for us now. So there's no way I can see Doctor Who doing well on a Saturday, and that's why I think it's good that they didn't push to a Sunday, so they don't have many bullet holes to themselves.
Okay, AJ, you've had your hand up for a while, so I want to get you in here.
Yeah, over here in Australia, when it was on Saturday for the UK last couple of seasons actually, we had 2 airings on a Sunday. You had the fast tracked on the Sunday morning around 6 a.m., which was through our iPlayer service, and then you had a later viewing at I think it was like 7:30 p.m. on the Sunday. So you got 2 times to watch it, but to have it now on 3 in the morning in Australia, and then probably later again 7:30 on a Monday. It's Monday. It's during the working week and a school week. No one's going to stay up to watch something like that, whether they're aiming for kids or whatever, on a Monday. I mean, they would record it and leave it for the Friday night, the Saturday, or even the Sunday. So in a way, that they really have shot themselves in the foot over here in Australia. You're going to watch your international numbers start dropping quite dramatically because that's what builds up the show. It's not just a UK show, it's a worldwide show. That's what they've been doing for the last 13 years.
Yeah,
so,
but they're losing their UK viewers, even irrespective of the worldwide thing they got. They need to claw back home ground in case, they need to back their original kind of pool of people. Well,
But alternatively, have they not already proven that it doesn't matter when it's on because people will watch it when they watch it? At least in the UK, right? Don't most of their numbers come after the fact anyway on iPlayer?
Yeah.
Yep. Well, like I said, you're gonna and sacrifice though for getting those ratings up at home. You're pissing away Australia. You're pissing away New Zealand. You're pissing away your Saturday night highest rated drama in America. And for what? Maybe 500,000 people at home. But okay, I got a lot of people who got their hands up, but I got to get to them. So, all right, Lee, go on ahead.
You know what I mean? I understand what everyone's saying. I think some of it is down to being an individual thing. For example, me personally, it doesn't bother me on a Sunday night, but Jeff next door or Mary over the road, whoever they are, they may have work on Sunday night. So, you know, live viewing figures for a Sunday, I don't think it's going to make much difference, to be honest with you, than it is on a Saturday. You've got, I mean, one of your guys, I can't remember who said it. I think everyone has, to be honest with you. Kids going to school, kids doing homework. For me, in my house, when I was younger, it was bath time and homework time and parents getting their kids' school uniforms ready for the following day. It's not a kids' show. Chibnall said at Comic-Con that it's for all fans. When you first start, this new series is for everybody. So when it comes to start times, I'm going to estimate 6:30 of an evening, maybe in the UK. Now, so realistically, I don't think it's going to hurt the UK market personally. When it comes to abroad and the overseas market, I spoke to a guy from the US who said it's not going to bother him. Most major US TV shows midweek anyway. So it's, in his exact words, he goes to work the following morning and chats over the water cooler with his friends about Game of Thrones or whatever show was on. So when it comes to Monday morning, it's not going to cause too much hassle for him because he'll watch this show before he goes to work in the morning, and then he can still chat at the water cooler with his friend and talk about Doctor Who. But when it comes to the Australian markets and other Asian markets and what have you, it's done, in my opinion, anyway. But it's really just an individual thing. We're going about the whole country. But obviously, we all have our own lifestyles and we work at different times. And some people who used to watch it on reruns can now watch it live. So, you know, that's just my opinion anyway, guys.
Okay, Josh, you've had your hand up for a while, so go on ahead.
Yeah, going back to like the whole American thing, in my opinion, the majority of, well, I wouldn't say the majority, but people that are like 20 to 28 or 29, they don't even watch stuff on cable anymore. So the whole like viewing figure thing doesn't really even matter for their core demographic, because honestly, people that are like 50 plus use cable, and then everybody else just watches everything either on their phone or a tablet. We don't watch stuff live anymore, so it really doesn't matter as far as like America and stuff, in my opinion, especially for the younger people, like the kids and the people in their 20s. They don't watch live TV, like I said, so that really doesn't matter. So, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, I got to tell John about how to put his hand up one of these. But okay, Beef, you are up next. Go ahead.
Beef here, white guy, watch classics, male. Sorry about that. But that's it. I think, you know, Josh had it there. It's a case of timing. You know, we'll argue about it till the cows come home. But the big problem isn't the show or anything like that. It's the measure of how they take it, and they've too much now is vested on the night numbers. When everything else is factored into it, how we all watch it, it spells it and sings a different song. It really does.
Would you not say this is a departure from that? The idea that they're doing this, because obviously they know that they don't get the views live that they used to, and they don't really care about that. They're thinking maybe this is a new marketing strategy. We'll get younger viewers on a Sunday evening, early evening. I don't know. You tell me.
But saying, right, okay, we'll move it from Saturday to a Sunday. So we'll have on the night figures that may be slightly different. They may be slightly up, we may be slightly down. We don't know till this comes out. But the thing is, your on-demand thing is still going to have the same strength. At the end of the day, you probably may still add up to the same thing. So it may mean the day change means nothing.
That's what I'm thinking.
In one respect.
My thing is this. All right, now BBC America works off advertising.
Yeah. Well, yeah, this is what I was going to say. Yeah, you're judging it, but that's it. They're judging it by on the night, and the thing is, that's the thing. If you're looking at the long game, and then you're judging it by on the night figures, this is where it could come a cropper. Is where you've got it, like you're saying in the States with the advertising revenue, and saying it in Australia where you have advertising revenue, then you're going to lose it. And if they're going to use that as the judgment factor of it, which is on the night figures, then you are sort of shooting yourself in the foot when it comes to selling the show in previous years, because you may have a kickback from BBC America, you may have a kickback from whoever broadcasts it in Australia and New Zealand saying, yeah, we'll want to buy your show, but then again, we want you to do it on this night, because then it's a case of there's going to be a taskmaster to be paid, and it's not going to just be BBC UK. It's going to be worldwide dictating it. So there are so many big factors that are going to be affecting it. But it's a very narrow-minded view for, I think, the UK just to think of on the night figures. It really is.
Okay, William, go ahead.
I think since for BBC America, since they're paying BBC to air Doctor Who, and they're making money from the advertisement, I think I think after episode 2, when it airs next month, if they don't get advertisement or viewers as they did last season, I think they should automatically jump to Saturday, and then be like, you know what, if you don't like it, then you and I could battle it out in court, because you are hurting us financially by moving it on a Sunday, and we're losing money and viewers that way. So that's the solution for BBC America. I mean, the same thing could happen with Australia. They could be like, look, we're going to air it on Saturday, whether you like it or not, because you're doing it for only your country. We got to think about us, because because of the circumstances of what's going on, we can't follow your rules, and that's the way it is. Then maybe we shouldn't air it no more. Maybe that'll teach them where their money going to be coming from, because if they lose America and Australia, they don't want to air it no more. Then they're going to start losing all the fans altogether.
Okay, Connor?
How much of this, though, is about Doctor Who not being a must-watch TV show anymore? Because the marketing isn't great. We've all sort of established that. So if Doctor Who, for example, if Doctor Who was like Game of Thrones or Walking Dead, where it's kind of must-watch TV, and whoever you are in whatever part of the world, you will probably stay up and watch it. Sometimes people in the UK, for example, for Game of Thrones, stays up and live streams it very early in the morning, even though it'll be on a Monday and they'll be working. So if they were to make Doctor Who a must-watch show again, so if the quality of the writing, for example, was vastly improved, and powerful marketing tools like word of mouth or stuff like that were used, and it got a decent fan following again on social media, for example, then I don't think that moving the days or moving the time slots or moving anything is going to be of any relevance. I think that it mainly comes down to the quality of the show. If it's must-watch TV, people will watch it, whatever time it's on at. It's kind of exposing how little faith they have in their own show. And I think it's also exposing how little faith people have in the show by the idea of the viewing figures dropping off, or people just being more worried about their day-to-day activities than actually sitting down and wanting to watch this show.
John, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I've been doing a bit of research where everyone's been talking, and obviously, it ain't confirmed or anything. I've been looking. It looks like the slot they're going for is about 5:45. Because at the minute, that's a game show, Point the Celebrity, which is coming to the end of the series, so it should be over when Doctor Who starts. So what I think it'd be 5:45, and then they'll go up to the weekend news, which starts at 6:35. So that's dead on 50 minutes. So
Yeah, so
that will be the spot.
that's kind of the template that they had back in the 70s then. So they're going back to an old school kind of viewing time.
Yeah. So it looks like 5:45. I can't see anything after, because after the news ends about 10 to 7, and that'll be strictly results show, I reckon. I can't see him going after strictly. So I reckon 5:45.
All right. I know. I think Starburst is calling it like possibly 5:30, but like I said, that's just an estimate. We do not have an actual air time at this moment.
Hey, John,
Okay.
ask H Creeper what time it starts.
Okay, Texas Tim, go on ahead.
Well, in regards to what Connor was just saying, I think that the popularity of the show plateaued probably around 2011, and it's been you're never going to build up on that again. Actually, because it's actually more popular in the late 00s as well, for whatever reasons. But the BBC started running out of money. So as far as the thing is, this is a unique program for them. It always has been. But in the idea that they don't want to kill it, but the audience is ever changing. It's an ever changing audience. For example, if you have Game of Thrones, which is a worldwide success, and of course everybody wants to see it first. So if you happen to be up late where you are, you can watch the broadcast. But I mean, they don't look at it like that when they're doing it. And of course, every area of the world has their own broadcast time for that program, or Walking Dead, whichever. But as far as this show, the ongoing struggle for the BBC is to maintain an ever-changing audience, which I think what they're trying to do here by having it on a Sunday afternoon, new time slot maybe, and maybe they think that's what's going to work, regardless of the knock-on effect it has for other places like BBC America or the Australian broadcast version. So,
okay, Doctor Commentator.
Commenting on the whole 5:45 time slot. Well, first of all, that's a rather interesting time slot because I have no idea whether the 6 o'clock news actually airs on Sunday. But on top of that, is that even a great time? Because that's when everyone's sitting down to have their tea, isn't it?
I think that's the time they're going for.
if people still do that.
Yeah, they do.
It's time for the tea with our Doctor Who.
But you know what, WC, even when I used to watch it in the 70s at that time, I was having my tea and I still was able to watch it whilst having my tea, so that's not a problem.
Either way, it's a very interesting subject. I just want to state for the record, I'm still optimistic as hell about this show. I'm still looking forward to it. I'm still very, intrigued by what kind of changes they've made, how it's going to flow and whatnot. So I don't want people to get the wrong idea. I'm just playing devil's advocate a little bit here from a marketing standpoint. Like I said, the international audience is what's also been holding this thing together for as long as it's been going. And for 13 years into a relaunch, they're not doing too bad. They could be a lot worse. If the ratings had hit like, say, 2 million or below, okay, I'd be going into full panic mode. But they're still hanging around 4.5 to 5 million on average, which, like I said, Walking Dead is still highest rated drama on Sunday night every week. And it used to score tens of millions of ratings. Now it's down to 5, but it's still up there. Everybody's panicking, because it's dropped quite a bit, but it's still up there. Okay, Texas Tim, you still got your hand up. Go on ahead.
Well, I was going to say it'd be interesting to compare, as far as Australia is concerned, the numbers when they switched days back in the 80s, which they did do, because Australia has always had the benefit of having it on the next day as far back as the 60s. So, I mean, in other words, it's been a show that's been marketed to Australia ever since it was, created. It'd be interesting to see what effect it had on Australian viewership in the 80s when they switched to Monday and Tuesdays and then later Wednesdays or whatever. So I don't know if that'll give you any real data because, I mean, we obviously live in a different century now, but I'm just saying at that time, I'm wondering if it had any kind of effect as far as viewership in Australia.
Okay, Josh, you back with us?
Yeah, sorry about that. But my thing is, to me, like, I don't know if this is just like my perception of what Doctor Who is or how Doctor Who is in America, but Doctor Who has always been like a popular show, but I wouldn't call it a mainstream show that a lot of American people even know about. So it's like, I understand that they're trying to, make it mainstream and make more people aware of it, but I feel like Doctor Who has always been this niche type of show, and it can't compare to like The Walking Dead and Game of Thrones, because it just has like a niche quality to it. Like, to me at least, it's like one of those shows that you have to kind of watch it to find out what it is, type of thing. And like, it just doesn't seem like it's like comparable to Game of Thrones or The Walking Dead or anything like that. But maybe that's just my opinion.
Okay, Lee.
Oh, sorry about that technical issue. Just wanted to say, really, that the tweed and fag smoke, if you like, at the BBC have been sitting in their boardrooms for months debating what to do, new time slots, everything. So they've made their decision at the end of the day. They've decided as a corporation, if you like, that this new time slot is best for everybody, best for the show. I suppose the final thing I can say about this matter is ask me again what I think about, or ask all of us what we think about ratings and everything after episode, say, 3, when everything's all sunk in, if you like.
So either way, controversial move. It's got a lot of people talking, got a lot of people, going on about it. And that's why I figured I'd throw it out there tonight, see what everybody's thoughts and feelings are on it. Because like I said, it's just moving the show, like I said, I don't know. It just feels funny to me after 13 years you're going to move to Sunday night, because I can see it from a sense that, there's, they're thinking there's going to be less competition, but at the same time, we'll have to wait and see, how, the things fare. Now, the next big thing that's been going around, and this one popped up, I believe it was in the Sun, is allegedly there's talks going around that they're talking to Billie Piper to come back for Series 12. Now, whether we know this is, remember, keep in mind, I'm taking this with a major, major pinch of salt because A, Billie Piper just announced she's pregnant. And B, what would be the point at this point, considering you've been going on and on about how you're not going to have anything like old, coming up anytime soon. Now, it could be because it's Series 12, they're going to do something different. So, what are your guys' opinion? I've already got hands up, so let's go to them. All right, let's start with Connor.
I'm not a fan of Rose, but if you want to get the ratings back, she's the perfect companion because she's the one that the fans get behind the most, it seems, from a purely, from a social media standpoint. She's a well-known actress now. She's been in a lot since. She's matured. If you can change her character and make her interesting again, rather than whatever we got in Series 2, which was diabolical, I think that her and Jodie Whittaker are sort of like a match made. I think that they're a match made in heaven. Now, the thing that came along with that article was that it's going to be like a love interest, but it's got complications. If that's someone else and that's not Rose, if they make Rose what that spin-off that they planned, then cancelled, the Earth Defender one, if they make it like that, then you've got a strong female character as the companion, as well as a strong female character as the main character, the Doctor. So you're going to sell yourself to a whole new audience while getting back them fans that were all about Rose and the Doctor way back when. So I think Billie Piper as a selling point and as a way of getting back an audience is probably the best chance that you've got at this point, as opposed to people like Fema Agyeman or Catherine Tate or Karen Gillan, for example. So I think that Rose is kind of like that kryptonite that is going to maybe build on the audience that we've lost at the moment.
Okay, let's move over to Dr. Commentator.
Well, to be brutally honest, my answer to this, because all I've heard is just from you guys pretty much right now that supposedly there's in talks of bringing Billie Piper back. I just have one thing to say about that. Why? What would be the whole point of that? You've already gone through her. It's very rare, even the classic show, or even in the new show, but they bring companions back. Why on earth would they? Literally, the only time she's come back was for the 50th anniversary, and that was as a completely different character, technically. Why would you need to return to an old companion? And to be really honest, if we're trying to go back to get younger audiences in, why are you bringing a character that, well, there's no nostalgia there for the younger audiences. Why do they need it?
Let's move over to William.
Well, like you said, I think that I read about this rumor about Billie Piper like yesterday. That my opinion is a nonsense, because if the BBC have no respect for the old actors and actresses that was companions to appear in the 8th anniversary one, then and having this actress back makes no sense, considering her storyline in a way ended when she was with that other David Tennant character in that other parallel world. So her returning will make no sense. If you want to have another female character that which Phil would not like, bringing back the kissy face doctor like that, and hearing that "I love you" nonsense, and that makes no sense, because we already had to deal with that nonsense a couple of years ago. We don't need that no more. Not because you have an actress playing the doctor, you want to bring a love interest to it. That makes no sense, because until only in books and maybe in audio and maybe one or two storylines in this current universe, there haven't been that many romantic interests with the doctor whatsoever. So bringing that in just to bring audience, what makes no sense. And you in my opinion, you're disrespecting a lot of the past. Because if you want to bring past characters, go back a couple of more years. Because I know for a fact there's a lot of people right here in this room that would like to know what is currently going on with certain characters, whether either they're, of course, we know for a fact that the actors has aged. That's automatic. Everybody knows that everybody ages, right? So you could go to where they will be in their current age. They could portray themselves. You can find out what happened to this person, this person, this person. Is this person still alive? Has this person ever got married? Have ever got kids, or whatsoever. So that could be that. That could end that character's, story once and for all, for our sake. Not to bring her back, just to sort of bring a love interest again. They could kiss that off. They could piss that off. You're gonna piss people off, and you're gonna get people mad, upset. So forget about her. I gotta say congratulations on her for being pregnant right now, and I hope it's a healthy baby. Deal with that. Don't get involved with Doctor Who, because the only thing you're doing with Doctor Who is Big Finish. Keep doing that. We don't need to see you no more. We tired of looking at you. Everybody saw you, and when you did that, when you was a prostitute in this show, and when you show your rear end as Frankenstein's bride. So forget about that. We don't need to see you no more.
Well, she was doing good in that play. What was it, Irma or Yerma or something like that? Yeah, she was doing pretty good with that too. So, okay, Texas Tim.
You saw a little more than a rear end, but I just think this sounds like complete and utter bullshit fiction, internet-generated nonsense that, what did they bring back Billie Piper, which they do. And like you said, if she's already expanding her family, then no. And I would just say the only time you should bring back a former character or villain or anything is if the story calls for it. I mean, there's no reason to bring back Rose at this point. And she's one of those 50-50 characters that people either love or hate, I mean, as far as fans go. So, no, it's not. It's pointless. And it would just seem like a sellout on Chibi's part, who's trying to make it so different. So, I mean, if they really want to do that, or they want to, the story should call for it.
All right, John.
Well, what I'm thinking is, obviously, they're still in, if this is even happening, okay, because we don't know if it's even happening. That could be just bullshit about this. But I think it could be true, purely because I seem to think this is the last resort. If this season does fail and bomb phenomenally that we haven't seen before, which it still can, let's not forget, it can fail crazily bad. If it does, then if they bring Rose back, they'll bring that doctor thing back as well, the David Tennant's second doctor, whatever it was, the Meta Crisis doctor. if they bring him back, they've got an advertising excuse to say, hey, look, David Tennant's back. Everyone comes back. All the casual viewers who say they stopped watching after Tennant left, come back, watch it, and hopefully they get the ratings back up. That's all I can see them bringing Rose back. I can't see them bringing her back for any other reason apart from that. Because her story is done. Everyone's right. There's no reason to bring her back.
Okay, Josh.
Yeah, I personally don't like Rose. I never liked Rose because I didn't like the whole doctor love relationship with Rose. It was just like I felt like I was watching like a soap opera or something, and that's not what Doctor Who's supposed to be. And it was just I hated the character of Rose technically, but in my opinion, they're not gonna, bring anybody back because they do this every other year. They used to do this with John Barrowman all the time. They would say that he was coming back, and then, they would say all this stuff, and then he would be like, you'd have to ask the BBC because I haven't been contacted. So it's just a headline to, stir things up and all that stuff. But I don't think anybody's going to come back. Because if somebody was going to come back, they would have done it by now. And they would have done a couple classic, characters. But they don't give a crap about, about that kind of stuff. So I really don't think anybody is going to come back.
I know. In a way, I wish they would because when Sarah Jane Smith came back in School Reunion, it was a major ratings booster for Series 2. But, the BBC, the way it is now, no, I agree with you. I don't think it's going to happen. Okay, Beef.
Hi, Beef here. You know the story. Sorry in advance.
Still white.
Yeah, but that's it. I get where Connor's coming from. I get where John's coming from. But I've got to call bullshit on this, really, as how they can actually sort of run it as a story and everything like that. We're too early along the lines to, for anyone to say the BBC are putting out a Hail Mary. And the other thing to bear in mind is that this series has been so much under the kibosh of secrecy and everything cut under the table that you'll know something that's going to happen next year when they haven't even sat down to start real production until what we're speculating at is November of this year. So, yeah. Also, Chibnall wants to do things his own way. I think that much we know from the production and the lack of information that we've had this year is that he wants to do it his own way and he wants to do his own thing. Why does he want to be playing in previous showrunners' toy boxes? He doesn't want to do that because he wants to do it all his own way. Then to boot, adding on to that, is that you've got the licensing issue as well. To be honest with you, Big Finish. Do Big Finish really want to be tiptoeing around everything like that? There's a reason that Big Finish gets stuff only up to a certain point, because the thing is they do not want to be clashing with the main show. And the thing is that the 10th Doctor series that they've had with Big Finish have been massive, huge sellers. They've been oversold and massively, crashing the Big Finish website when it's been, Doctor and Donna, the Doctor and Rose. So why do they want to muck up with that? There's going to be too much, friction and, clashing and everything like that. Just got to let this stuff run, to be honest with you. It's not going to happen. I'm calling bullshine.
Okay, Lee.
Also, hands up, calling bullshit. Rose wasn't one of my personal favourite characters, to be perfectly honest with you. But, I'm nothing against Billie Piper, great actress. Played a great prostitute, in my opinion, but that's my personal business. But in all seriousness, yes, man. But in all seriousness, no. I think we need to let the show just settle in, be their own thing. As Chibnall and the cast said, I was watching all the Comic-Con stuff earlier. Brand new. Let them carry on. Start from a fresh, complete refresh. Well, it is like a soft reboot, isn't it, of the series? Let's face it. Let's just get everything started from the beginning. Let them do their own thing. And if they do want to bring back any characters in the future, not this series, I wouldn't like that, but this next series, maybe somebody like maybe Luke from the Sarah Jane Adventures. Let's hear a bit more of his story. What's going on since since Sarah Jane Adventures ended? Maybe a bit of Captain Jack, but obviously that's for the future. Let them do their own thing for a season, maybe even 2. Get them on the road. They want to bring back a past cast member, then it's like Beeps has said, it's got to be storyline. It's got to be storyline. It's got to fit in with the story, not just a random, "Hi everybody, come here, remember me?" No, it can't be like that. It's got to be good. It's got to be good, which hopefully it will be. That's it.
Okay, Philip.
What is that? What does that say about their faith in Jodie and indeed the companions of now? Like Toasting and Bradley Walsh and that other girl, whatever her name is. It's like, oh, they didn't work for us, so let's go and get Rose in to pick up the ratings. That's kind of rude, to be honest. So I don't think it's actually a thing that's going to happen, because they wouldn't just sacrifice the now companions just for someone that's been in the past. It's ridiculous.
Okay, AJ?
Yeah, for me, I'm 50-50 on Rose. If anything, I'd like to see companions from the classic series that, we never really got to see the end of their story, like Ace. Her and the Doctor just walk off at the end of the last episode, and what happens? I'd like to see maybe what in season 12, maybe once every few episodes he bumps into a companion from his previous self, and they're like, "Oh, you're a woman now," or what? Whatever. I don't care about that, but I like to see certain characters. Jamie, how he would react to the woman, the Doctor's now a woman and whatnot. So I'd like to see a bit more of the classic companions, honestly.
I hate to say this, but I now fancy a Doc. Okay.
Would you like to have a look at my dark?
Craig and Tor. Okay. Go ahead, Connor.
I think that this series 11, is all about testing the waters, and then he's going to sort of like throw in all of the familiar elements into it in series 12. But if you were to introduce Billie Piper back into it, over the last few weeks, something that I've noticed, and it's a little bit subtle, but it's just too noticeable, is that there's a little bit of fear behind this series, I think, from Jodie. I think that she's actually quite scared about how the reception is going to be. She jokingly said in an interview is that she's going to flee the country. Now, that could have been said in jest, but it gives a little bit of an image about actually it's a risk, and they're happy to take the risk.
Is that not just acknowledging that she's the first of her kind, and that she's joking with whoever she's interviewing her that, yeah, I may have to flee the country? I don't know. I wouldn't read too much into it.
That's what I'm talking about. Because it's the first time that this has happened.
But I wouldn't read too much into that. Obviously, they're all confident, I would think. When you saw the interviews from the convention, they all seem pretty confident with what they're doing.
Well, yeah, but I think at the same time there is a little bit of fear about why there's obvious reason to be.
No, but is that not the same thing you would get anytime they launch a new Doctor?
Well, yeah, because it's a new thing. It's the first female Doctor. There's always going to be a little bit of fear, a little bit of anxiety around that, I think. Whoever it was. So,
I think anybody who's taken on the role is really nervous about how they're going to be received.
Exactly.
So I can see why she's a bit nervous.
I imagine Peter Davison was pretty nervous the night before his first episode went out, because he was filling some big shoes. He'd been around forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is what I mean. But because it's the first female Doctor, there's a little bit, because there's been so much contention around a female Doctor. Are they there could be just a little bit more scared than usual.
But wouldn't Beefhead say that you're just being a chauvinist because you're not open to the idea?
Well, also, anyone.
I'm just kidding.
If you go all the way back, if you've listened to Michael Troughton's reading of his dad's book, about Patrick. Even Patrick Troughton was scared to death. He was going to be the
first time ever, though, right?
Yeah, but he was scared to death. He was going to be the guy that kills it. He was afraid. Are people going to receive me well or anything like that? Am I going to be the guy that kills Doctor Who? And also, look at how much poor Colin Baker and Sylvester McCoy have been branded just because they just happen to be the guys who are on the tail end of the original classic series. And I think anybody who comes in is just a bit frightened about how they're going to be received by the general audience, because it is a big pair of shoes to fill. It really is. You're talking about something that's going on 55 years. So
in the same way, McGann would have had the same thing. In the same way, I think Eccleston would have had the same thing. I know that the sex of the Doctor is a paradigm shift and everything like that. But put it in perspective. Then that's the BBC's remit to take care of. To be honest with you, as an actor, you expect negative, positive reviews, everything like that. I think it's a case of you pay your money and you take your chances. That's the nature of the job as an actor. But I do think to a certain degree, the Doctor Who fans are, in one respect, bang for blood in one respect, but in another way, they are, for a large part, also discerning enough because they're very quick to put the blame at Stephen Moffat's door. Will do the same thing with Chris Chibnall. Yeah, that's it. I'm waiting for him.
I do think that at this point, though, it's true, though, that at least 50% of the so-called fandom, you're not going to please any of them anytime ever. I mean, because it is such a long and varied path. No, Don't wiggle your ears at me, Philip. It's been such a long and varied project. It's so different. There's so much of it to like, so much of it that different people like and different people dislike, that at the end of the day, it's never going to please everybody.
But then again, that's probably the 50% that said, see you later, don't let the doorknob hit you on the way out.
Exactly. I mean, but to be fair, like you said earlier, they will watch. Their curiosity will win the day.
Curiosity will get the better of everyone.
Yes.
And like Lee said, episode 3.
That's why I say those first few episodes are what really going to set the tone, because if you don't make it past those, if the ratings do take a sheer drop, and I'm just being speculative here, then you are looking at a problem. But
I think that's why they're focusing on a new audience, are they not?
Mm-hmm. They're just, creating a whole new jumping on point where folks who aren't, familiar with that 55-year history we are ready to come into this thing and say, okay, because a lot of people, came in later on, and then, then they discover it's been on before. Then they go back in some cases and they'll, take a look at what happened in the past. But you see, that's the thing. You got to get these folks in here that have no idea what the hell this is, and then get them familiar with it. And then maybe they'll go back and, become more familiar with what's led up to it before. And I think that's what they're aiming at. It's a whole new audience, a whole new jumping on point, as he said.
It takes no time at 1.5 speed.
Yep. AJ.
For me, like you were saying about creating a new show for a new audience, but don't you also have a chance of alienating your previous audience as well with new material if you change it up that little bit too much?
But has that not always been the case? Think about it. It was a big gamble to hire Troughton to fill Hartnell's shoes. A huge gamble that paid off.
I agree with that.
So
every new showrunner you bring in, every new actor you bring in, you are going to change the tone. You are going to change, what people think should be, the ideal model. Because, look at what happened when they brought in Pertwee and then they put him trapped on Earth. Everybody was freaking out about that. They were going nuts. But then people learn to embrace it. People learn to enjoy it. Then you bring in, other doctors. And like I said, you had, oh gosh, how many showrunners now? I've lost count. And each one brought in their own different tone and their own different vision. Now, sure, there are some people who talk bad about a certain guy who had curly hair and wore a frickin' Hawaiian shirt. But you know what? He still carried the show for many years, did the best he could. Okay, Josh.
My thing is, all I care about personally is as long as it has, the qualities that we have come to know, like Doctor Who is, as long as it has, the eccentricities and the craziness and the otherworldliness and, allows me to escape, reality and everything that I have to deal with, in real life, then, that's all I really care about. And it seems like it's going to have the same qualities, so I know I'm still going to watch it, so,
Well, like I said, a lot of weird things going on. Like I said, there's people freaking out. Like I said, because they announced, well, we're not going to have such and such and such and such and such. It's but the thing is, like he said, we're going for a whole new angle. Right. Someone's been going on today about, that statement they made about River Song, the Weeping Angels, and, the Paternoster Gang. But it's those are all Moffat's characters. So it's like, that's kind of understandable that they wouldn't, come back if you've heard that one today. But so that's no biggie. Okay, William, you got your hand up.
Well, even though that rumor about Rose is for series 12 like that, which makes no sense because let's deal with what's going on right now. I think BBC should get their rear end out of their heads out of their ass and finish animating those missing episodes. Damn it, we've been freaking waiting for a long time for it. I got my money burning. Take my money, bitch, if you want it.
Well, there's all kinds of weird stuff still drifting around about the missing episodes. So you never know. Like I said, it's kind of weird. One of these days, some guy's gonna walk into their attic and there's a freaking stack of film cans. You never know. Okay, so that's pretty much what I wanted to cover because, like I said, we've been running on for about quite a while now. I was going to talk quickly about the whole glass ceiling clip, but like I said, it's just advertising. I ain't gonna
yawn.
Yeah, exactly. It's just to be meant to be a bit of fun.
It just means that she lives in a glass house. She never threw any stones.
Well, you could do that too, or maybe she just farted. You never know.
Had it have been a date announcement, it might have had a bit more of an impact. But I'm a guy. What do I know?
Before we wrap up, can we just
sorry?
And that is that teaser trailer, the music in it. Did anyone actually like it here? In that,
nope. I've seen a lot of folks in the comment box saying they thought it was good.
I'd have rather heard a little bit from Segan, the guy who's been there. I'd like to get a little sample from him.
Yeah, I would have done too. That would have been.
That's the one thing I'd like to say is because he's coming in with a new thing, a new vibe, and everything like that. So pair one with the other, and let's hear something of like a little teaser of what we're going to get with this guy. To be honest, with you.
Exactly.
A missed opportunity.
It's just the music didn't even add up. Like it just out of place completely. So
it's an X Factor trailer basically for me.
Yeah.
Okay, Connor's got his hand up. Go ahead.
On a serious note, I just hope that trailer isn't indicative of how forced and shoved down our throat the message that she's a woman is going to be. The whole deal is that's a metaphor about women. It's like breaking the glass ceiling. It's many women didn't actually
women
know
losers, really. But
Connor, I was speaking to you off air. How much time we got, mate? Jesus.
Not to say, because breaking the glass ceiling, believe it or not, does not only apply to women. It's also been used for people of other races, people of other religions. So it's not just completely a woman thing, the whole glass ceiling metaphor. It can apply to many different types of people. So, no, it is kind of weird they threw it in there, but like I said, I like to think of it as something whimsical, something nonsense, especially when you get to the end, she goes, oops, I got a little chuckle out of that myself. So, Okay, well, folks, let's go ahead and wrap this sucker up because we've been going on for a while now. So all I can say is this. We're less than a month away now. I know anticipation's high out there in the fan community. Expectations, of course, are always a bit high, but like I said, sit down, watch it with an open mind. Don't prejudge it. And just say, hey, look, I'm ready to accept what's going on here. That's all you can do. Don't go into it going, it's going to suck. Or otherwise, it will suck. You're just going to fulfill your own prophecy. So we'll find out the hard way coming in a few weeks. So until then, everybody, take care. Ta-ta. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you on the flip side.
And by the way, I apologize.
For
what? Being white?
He's a white male.
Don't tell everyone.
Hi, everyone.
For being white, being male, or being a fan for so many years.
I watch the classics. I'm sorry.
And
You're
by
a
the way,
sexist, misogynistic bastard. That's what you are.
one thing I want to throw in, back in the day, we didn't have 1.5 speed, you bastards.